Welcome back to DC Mentors V-Blog, and we're continuing with our episode in the home of Dr. Douglas C. and Liz C., and we're discussing one of those moments in innovations in DC Mentors history that you brought into our systemization and systemic thinking about that clinical relationship and that emotional relationship that we have with a patient on each and every visit, how we begin it and how we end it. And you stumbled and developed something so profound that we want to share it with you.
Well, thank you for that. It is something that is fairly profound and has a tremendous impact if it's used appropriately and for not only the patient's benefit but for the doctor as well, and that is how you exit out of an adjustment or an office visit. One of our clients last week asked me, I've been using your clothes and I'm just amazed with...
Wait, what is the close?
Well, the close is when you're finished with the patient, you've checked what you need to check, adjusted what you need to adjust. You have to have a way to signal to the patient, signal to yourself that this interaction and this exchange is completed and finished. And sometimes we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to say goodbye. And so we prolong it, and we're looking for validation, and we're prolonging that exit because we think that's what we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And what happens, and this client asked me, how did you come up with that? And the actual close is there anything else I can check for you today?
Say that again.
Is there anything else I can check for you today?
What kind of an attitude?
That you have to have the servant mindset. You're asking not as a task, but as, hey, are you satisfied? Are you complete? Did I do a good job for you today? And the answer to where did the close come from is being in the Midwest. My wife is from Minnesota, and I like to refer to it as the Minnesotan goodbye. Yeah. And when we were courting and dating, and it was time to go for a visit and it was time to leave, we would say goodbye at the kitchen table. And then we would walk to the foyer and we would say goodbye to the family there. And then we would go to the garage and hug and say goodbye there. And then we'd go to the car and say goodbye there. And then you'd roll the window down and say goodbye. Grandma would lean in and say goodbye. And then you'd drive out of the driveway and go to the street. And they'd wave back, and everybody looks back and waves. And that's how you say goodbye in Minnesota. And I went, this is how our profession says goodbye to a patient.
We've audited, Dr. Thackeray, you and I, we've audited different offices, walk in, and the most recent one I watched was a 5-minute goodbye from the doctor taking out of the room with the travel cart, going up to the front counter, talking to the staff, talking to the patient, talking to the kids, talking to the next new patient, talking to the other one out of here, and it was like still goodbye and then going on and on. What's the... I know in neuroscience they talk about the recency and the primacy effect. Recency is... what are they left with at the end of that moment that you are in that relationship? What are they left with when it's a goodbye, goodbye, you still like me? Goodbye, goodbye, you still like me?
I think they're left with the psychobabble that they are unsure of what really just happened. And the cleaving of that relationship going, is there anything else I can check? And they go, no, you've given that patient the ability to say, I'm out of here, I'm done, I don't need anything more from you, I've done my job. You've done my job, your job today, doctor, thank you, and I'm complete, satisfied, and I'm on my way. And when we go on with that dribble, the more pragmatic side, taking latency and recency away from it, is what is the cost of that goodbye?
I want to develop that on our next episode, because there is something else that we can check for you. I can hear you.